Time flying so quick. It's already time for our yearly Clash Clans history video that's become a tradition on this channel. And this year, Clash Clans is now 10 years. Time flying so quick. It's already time for our yearly Clash Clans history video that's become a tradition on this channel. And this year, Clash Clans is now 10 years old. Oh, crap, the old part. Before I get to tell you down the road, we will be skipping through some balance changes and time flying so quick. It's already time for our yearly Clash Clans history video that's become a tradition on this channel. And this year, Clash Clans is now 10 years old. Oh, crap, the old part. Before I get to tell you down the road, we will be skipping through some balance changes and small updates. Don't worry, I won't miss anything important. A little bit of a heads up though, I started making these videos in 2017, and after years of talking about the exact same thing, besides like the last 5 minutes of the video, it is very, very similar to last year's video. There's only so much I can change to make these videos feel and look different, so I apologize. But if you watched last year's video, you can skip to this part to continue where we left off. Or if you want to stick around for the entire video, well, sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. Let's do this. Sometime in July 2012, Clash of Clans came out in the Canadian App Store under the name Magic. A little later on, Clash of Clans was then globally released on iOS. The game was built different. The Max Town Hall was 8, the graphics were okay for 2012. Overall, Clash of Clans was a game changer at the time. There was no other game like it on mobile. 2 weeks later, on the 30th of August, the first starter update, we were introduced to some cool new goodies. A Tesla, new decorations, and graphical improvements to make the game look more September 18, spells were finally added to the game, but at the time there were only 3. The Lightning, Heal, and Rage. Along with spells, replays were added to battles so you can now watch them over, and new building, the Wizard Tower. It's surprising that the Wizard Tower wasn't even a thing before, right? And the time to build walls was finally removed. Yeah, before this, walls took time to build. It's kinda weird, but whatever. What time to be alive? October 15, a mostly clan-related update, we got hit message and clan trophy requirements. 2 weeks later, on October 27, the first seasonal update dropped for Halloween. But that wasn't everything. No. Town Hall 9 introduced was now the highest and baddest Town Hall in the game. Of course, we got some stuff like the Expo, the Jump Spell, and Super Cell removed the ability to sell buildings. It was a nice feature, but people were abusing it to sell things that they actually needed, so they just completely removed the feature. November 19, the first winter update, the village was covered in snow for the first time. New tree obstacles and the sand spell. Also, the ability to boost buildings such as the Spell Factory and Collectors was finally added. Alright, now we're in 2013. The first update in January 10th. This was one of the biggest updates in history because heroes were added. At the time, this was a huge deal, but it was just a king and queen. And along with that, we also got the introduction to Dark Elixir, because heroes need Dark Elixir, so makes sense, right? So we have storage and a drill. The 5th of February, we got 2 new traps, the Air Bomb and the Seeking Air Mine. And of course, there was many other small changes and improvements. March 12, 2013, Dark Elixir troops were introduced. The minions, Hellbars, Valkyries, and of course, the barracks to train their troops. About a month later, on April 17, leagues were added to separate players from being in one massive league, which was none. My personal favorite troop was also added in this update, the Golem. And then moving on to May 23rd, Town Hall 10 was introduced. We got to see some cool new stuff like the Inferno Tower. This update was huge, we don't have time for that. Anyways, aside from balance changes, we also got like new buildings for Town Hall 10, the usual. Anyways, the 17th of June, a new spell was added called the Freeze. Just like we added as well an extra mining pump was added to Town Hall 10. July 28th, we got a new Dark Elixir troop, the Witch. We also got the chance to now share replays with the clan chat and the ability to new players in global. September 30 was a very important part of the history of Clash of Clans because we got village edit mode. You can now just wipe the base and start from scratch. About a week later, on October 7th, the game came out for Android finally, and then on November 6th, we can now upgrade traps. Previously, traps were just traps, no levels, so you couldn't upgrade them. Also, one last thing, spells were updated to cost a Elixir instead of gold. December 5th, the last update of 2013 brought back the Christmas theme. A new multi-target ability was added to the Inferno Tower, so you can now target a few troops at the same time. And also, locally was added as well. So, 2013 ended off pretty okay. Alright, so now we're in 2014. On January 29th, the heroes were given abilities. Prior to this update, heroes were just heroes gonna hit and die. But now they both had abilities, where the king would be in rage mode and spawn barbarians, and the queen would have a cloak and spawn archers. Also, the clan roll co-leader was added, so now we have members, elders, co-leaders, and a leader. On April 9th, this was the day that made Clash of Clans live up to its name. Yes, Clan Wars. Up to this point, everyone was asking, when are the clans going to clash? Come on. Well, this update finally made it possible. May 16, it expanded the village edit mode to include Clan Wars. On July 3rd, this was a huge balance change update, but one of the most notable things was a live spectating mode. Yes, you can now watch players as they attack. At the time, this was pretty revolutionary. The 16th of September, a new Dark Elixir troop was introduced, the Lava Hound. And on October 22nd, we got a new trap called the Skeleton Trap. You can now also upgrade walls with Elixir, but the levels were very specific, so you couldn't just upgrade any wall. The 11th of December, we got multiple layouts added to village edit mode, so now you can save multiple bases. Also, they expanded the live spectating feature to defenses as well, so you can now watch your base getting attacked while it was happening. Moving along up the years, we were at 2015. February 24th, clans now had levels. This made clans able to level up and earn perks that all clan members can benefit from. April 30th, a new defense was added, the Air Sweeper. July 1st, 2015, we got the Dark Spell Factory, finally, Dark Spells. This included the Poison Spell, Earthquake, and the Haste Spell. And finally, more leagues were added, Titan and Legend League. Moving on to September 9th, the main part of this update was a war tiebreaker. The war tiebreaker was pretty much a way to calculate who really won the war. Before this, it was way too easy to get a tie, so this was very helpful. Aside from that, though, 25 new walls for Town Hall 10 was added. Now on to December 10th. Yeah, this year kind of felt a little small, but whatever. This update was the biggest in a while. It was Town Hall 11, but that wasn't it. It's a lot more than that. So first off, with Town Hall 11, we had some new defenses. The Eagle Artillery, the Grand Warden Hero, Cheap Shield. After this needed a little bit more time to finish your attack. 2016, the 26th of January, the loot card was added. Treasury in the Clan Castle and star bonuses. Even though the loot card was kind of broken, but let's not talk about that. March 21st, we got a new troop, the Bowler. There was also tons of war changes, new troop levels, and a lot of defense levels. May 24th, the highly requested friendly challenges was added. We also got 2 new troops, the Miner and the Baby Dragon, and 2 new spells, the Cold Spell and the Skeleton Spell. Moving on to October 12th, we got a new defense from Clash Royale added over to Clash Clans, the Bomb Tower. Town Hall 11 got 25 more walls, and friendly wars were added. And finally, we're at the end of 2016. The 19th of December, we got the Christmas update, which introduced a new temporary troop, the Ice Wizard from Clash Royale. Also, the Freeze Trap and the Sad Surprise may return. This was all temporary though, so yeah, it's no longer gonna get. Alright, 2017 now. On May 22nd, we got the biggest update in a while. The Builder's Base was introduced with new defenses and also a lot of cool stuff in the main build as well, like the multi-mortar and archer towers, fast and long-range toggle. I still don't know what it's called. Anyways, June 27th, the Builder Hall 6 was introduced, and with that, we got new troops like the Night Witch. We also got the Roaster. September 27th, Builder Hall 7 came along. We got the new Giant Cannon, new Dropship, and a lot more balance changes. And on to the 11th of October, you can now see who was online. Friendly battles for the Alright, now we're at the last month of the year. December 18, the last update of 2017, we got a new feature called Clan Games. Basically, a new feature that will allow players and clans to earn rewards together. Other than that, the year ended off with the usual Christmas theme and some balance changes. Now we're in 2018. The 1st of February, we got some cool new obstacles, but the 5th of March, this update was huge. Along with the new Builder Hall 8, we got the Mega Tesla, Super Hacker, extra buildings, traps, and for the home village, the Trader. The 11th of June, finally, the home village is getting some love. We got Town Hall 12. Along with that, we got the Siege Machine and the Siege Workshop to train those Siege machines. The Wall Wrecker, the Battle Blimp, we got the Electro Dragon. You can now change your name multiple times with gems and much more. June 26th, we got a lot of upgrade times reduced, and I mean, that was pretty much it. This has happened a lot throughout the years, by the way. This is probably the only time I mentioned it. After some balance changes and maintenance breaks over the summer, on October 23rd, we got Clan War Leagues. We had a new tornado trap, potions, magic items, and a lot more. Now, I did mention Clan War Leagues, and if you don't know what that is, well, basically like a tournament system for clan wars. Kind of. You and your clan get to fight against other clans for a few days, and after this, you get clan war league medals which you can spend at the shop. Pretty cool feature if you ask me. The 10th of December, Supercell released the last update of 2018. New troop, the ice golem, new bat spell, new stone, hammer, siege machine, a couple new magic items, and a lot of quality of life changes for both of you. The 18th of June, we got Builder Hall 9. Along with Builder Hall 9 was new levels for the course, new buildings, new troop. As for the home build, we got the usual, new hero levels, building levels, stuff like that. The 16th of October, we got a new clan recruitment feature where you can search for new members to join your own clan based on specific stats. Along with that was a new look to profiles, clan profile, and some of the quality of life changes. Now we're in December, holiday of 2019, the 9th of that month, we had a pretty big update. First off, Tunnel 13. With Tunnel 13, we got a lot of stuff like we usually do with every Tunnel Hall. Giga Tesla, Giga Inferno, a new hero called the Royal Champion, new defense, the Shadow Shot, a new siege machine, the Siege Barracks. We got a new troop, the Yeti, new levels for literally everything in the game. And other than that, quality of life changes, balance changes, and whatnot. Now we're in 2020. April 4th, we got the big spring update, Super Troops. Basically, beefier versions of existing troops. June 22nd, a new Dark troop called the Headhunter level at Tunnel 12. My favorite part of this update, sceneries. I know it's not a big feature, but I absolutely love sceneries. It changes the way your base looks, and it's just perfect. Anyway, some smaller changes. The loot card now accumulate loot for 90 days, so now you can have a chunky loot card. Upgrading a tunnel will now trigger various boosts. You've been active for more than 90 days, you will now be welcome back as a returning player and get free level upgrades. Overall, this update was nice and refreshing. The 12th of October, we got some new super troops, super Valkyrie, super minion. We got the return of some temporary troops, new defense levels, and tons of quality of life changes. Also, as a bonus, newly created accounts now have to verify their age. Now for December 7th and 8th, yeah, there were two updates for whatever reason. I really don't know. In these couple days, we got the new log launcher siege machine, a new invisibility spell, two new super troops, the super wizard and the ice hound, and finally a new magic item called the super potion. And since we're at the end of the year, of course, you know there were the Christmas stuff and whatnot. Yeah, 2021. As usual, literally nothing happened the first few months up until April. April seems to be their favorite month to release an update. But anyway, the 12th of April, we got Town Hall 14. Builder huts were now weaponized, so you could upgrade them and beef them up. They added the pet house, which is where you access pets for heroes. New levels for everything. Aside from that, balance changes. The next 4 updates were balance changes, but finally on the 15th of June, we got new levels for Town Hall 14 and 2 new troops. One of them was the Dragon Rider, and the other was the super troop called the Rocket Balloon. As expected, there were some sweet quality of life changes as well. Alright, so now we're at the part where we left off last year. Every year this year gets longer and longer. Next year, I'm in the chair. Yes, I still record standing up for whatever reason. Anyways, okay, no one cares. December 27th was the next day's update. The Super Bowler was introduced, more building levels and some quality of life improvements. On December 9th, we got another small update consisting of a new Super Dragon Super Troop. Also, the Flame Flanger Sleep. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Flame Flanger Siege Machine. And even more levels for various buildings. Alright, so now we're at 2022. Yeah, that was quick. After a few months of new troops and levels, we got a massive quality of life update. The highlight of this update was the Heroes Extra Life. Other than that, there were some smaller changes that you probably don't care about. Facebook login was removed. And we finally got the volume sliders. As a reminder, all of the smaller information I skipped over can be found in the link below. Alright, now May 22nd, the biggest update in a while. Actually, probably the biggest update in Clash of Clans history, to be honest. So the clan capital update. Essentially, the bulk of the update was clan capital. Multiple districts make up the clan capital, and clans work together to upgrade all of those districts. There is a new currency called capital gold, which you can use to upgrade the buildings in those districts. Every weekend, you put your base to the test with raids from other clans. Similarly, your clan attacks other clan capitals. These raid weekends provide a way to get gold to upgrade the base, and medals at the end of the weekend to buy other goodies at the trade shop. The Forge is also a new building that floats right next to the Builder Base boat. It's a place where you can essentially convert your other resources into capital gold. If you want to know more about the clan capital and want to explain it a little better, I highly recommend you watch the video that Clash of Clans made, because I'm just condensing it into like a minute. But this update was huge. I mean, there is so much. The next 3 updates were minions breaks and balance changes to better the capital hall and the game in general. But on June 27th, we see the next actual update. On this day, they removed the troop training cost and attempt to allow players to try new strategies and farm with them without worrying about the cost of armies. They also removed all flags that represent countries in order to separate the Clash world from real life. Aside from that, they removed all but unlimited training, super troop quick donation, scenery randomizer, and more smaller changes. The next 2 updates were additional bug fixes and whatnot, and yeah, I thought it would be more the past year. But the biggest change was the clan capital, which is a quick update, and I'm glad we finally have a clan base to work on. As we speak right now, the yearly anniversary events are happening right now. That includes the mini games in Clash of Clans. But because this video is a work in progress while this stuff is happening, I might not get everything. So anything after August 1st, which is the last day I've been working on this, then I won't be able to mention it. So I guess to wrap this up, it's been an amazing journey seeing this game turn 10 years old. I've been playing since May of 2013, and the game's been nothing but fun since then. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and happy birthday to Clash of Clans. 10 years, god damn. Also, let me know if I should even continue this series. I know this is a tradition on this channel, but my hopes were to reach 10 years and call it a decade of history. But should I keep going? Well, I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching.